I just got this doozy in the mail right here. Gonna give you a little peek at my experience with the PS5. So I say let's kick this party off by opening the box, huh? What do you say? Oh, that feels nice. That feels really nice. And it's not as big as I thought it would be. And there she is. The most beautiful girl in the universe. Other than my wife. No, of course, yeah. Boop. She is all set up, my friends. Time to get into some Astrobot playroom. Astro's playroom, there you go.
The last 6 Christmases I was locked behind 30 feet of steel. I intend to enjoy this one.
So I spent about 24 hours with my gorgeous new PlayStation 5 and my DualSense controller, and I can give you some impressions that I've had on it so far. First and foremost, I love the UI. I love the way that they've redesigned it. It's fast, it's slick, it's easy to get around, and everything is right there that you'd want. You don't have to go through a ton of menus and stuff like that to get to the store, to get to your friends, to get to your messages. Everything is snappy and everything's right there. So that part I really, really do appreciate. Also, as a trophy hunter myself, I know it's not the biggest thing for most people, but I love how easy it is to get some tips on specific trophies. They didn't have them for every single one of them when I was playing Astro's Playroom, but I'm sure that's something that'll get sorted out in time. A lot easier though than needing to go to my computer or my phone to look up how to do a specific task. I know it's been talked about ad nauseum, but really can't say enough about the DualSense controller. Rumble has been largely the same since like 1998 when my friend showed me that they jammed a Rumble pack into their N64 controller, and this feels like the first real iteration on it. I know that haptic feedback has been a thing for a while, but you really can tell a huge difference between when you're walking on metal, when you're walking through mud, when you're walking through sand, when you're skating on ice. It really all feels different, especially in Astro's Playroom, which really takes advantage of everything that it can with the DualSense. For example, there is a level where you're walking through and it's raining out and you have an umbrella up and you can feel the raindrops in this thing. I'm not kidding. One thing that's a little weird with it though is as they've talked a whole bunch about getting pressure back when you're drawing a bow or launching rockets or something like that, it actually fights against you when you're trying to jam it down. And I know personally, I'm just so used to, throughout all the years, not wanting to jam things that are plastic and break them. So it's a little bit of retraining my brain. It feels like I might break it. I'm afraid of that, even though it's what it was designed for. And so I'm sure I won't. Really cool features in the DualSense right there. Also the battery life. I said I played for 12 hours yesterday. I mean, I'm not running a timer or anything. You know, I plugged it in, went upstairs, got a snack at some point, but I never had an issue where like it was telling me the controller's about to die, you're screwed. I like the redesign of the PlayStation Store that people have had a lot of issues with in the past. Now it's very clear with everything. It's very fast, really easy to find things. And I like that they have a whole section dedicated just to VR that's right in front of you because I'm a bit of a VR nerd. Speaking of VR, there are also a couple of cool things going on with VR. There's been some small improvements to games like Firewall Zero Hour and to Blood and Truth, but they're mostly iterative. And what I'm really hoping for is when we eventually get a PSVR 2, we'll be able to see some more significant step-ups on that area. I want to see things like in Skyrim VR where the draw distance is better, or No Man's Sky, for example. If we can get some further draw distance, PSVR would be perfect, even though it is wonderful, as is. And if you're a PSVR owner, don't forget to get the free adapter from Sony. They should be coming bundled in all new VR headsets, PSVR that is, that I've heard. But the process was quick and painless when I was able to get mine from Sony for free. So make sure to do that. Another thing to talk about, Astro's Playroom, which I already have the Platinum Trophy in. Yes, I worked very hard for that as a trophy guy. is probably the biggest celebration of PlayStation games, possibly video games, that I've ever seen in a game. It's so referential to other games and to moments in the industry and things that have happened between every single system as they've come out with Sony. It's really cool to feel that history and see it celebrated in a game this way, in a way that doesn't feel forced and is fun all around. I'd probably even say Astro's Playroom has got to be the best game that's pre-packed with the system I can ever think of. For content creators out there, screenshots and videos are also a lot easier to capture. It's a little bit different than the PS4 in that it's a much more simplified menu. It's much easier to share things. It's much easier to make a screenshot or a video clip, whatever. And I'm really excited to see where that develops from here on. And I should also speak on the load times. Load times are amazing here. I tried out a few PS4 games and they obviously loaded up a ton faster. The Last of Us Part 2 must have loaded up in less than 30 seconds. Everybody's Golf loaded up super quick. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 loaded up pretty quick. And the stuff that they have on the system right now, like Demon's Souls and Miles Morales, just up in an instant. Now for some cons. I filled up the hard drive very quickly. I know I'm a weirdo, and it's primarily because I like keeping digital VR games handy, but when I had 16 games on my system, I was already at capacity. So for people like me, in the future when Sony reveals the memory that's going to be out there that is workable with the PS5 standards, that's fast enough, that's pretty much just fast enough, I think. I'm not a tech head that way. When they finally release that list, I think I will definitely be one of the people on top of that. Another quick con words, I'm also going to throw a bit of a pro in there. The games that are available right now, of them all, the only one that really distinctly, truly feels next generation from the ground up is Demon's Souls. Astro's Playroom is something I would include on that list because of the way that it works with the DualSense controller, but if you're just watching a video of it online, you might think, hey, that looks like something that could work on the PS4, and it probably could. Also, Spider-Man Miles Morales is amazing. I love the first Spider-Man. I love everything Insomniac does. Don't get me wrong. But you can see that at its core, it's still built out of the best parts of last generation. It is all of the things that you loved from the last generation, doing their absolute best with a tiny bit of extra shine. I shouldn't say tiny, because I don't really know how to compare it to. But with a bit of extra shine compared to what a PS4 game would be. There's sharper details on hair, on skin, there's more light, there's deeper colors, and again, 0 load times between everything. You can fast travel across the map in 2 seconds. But all that considered, again, really the only like next gen game right now is Demon's Souls. And it's awesome. Another quick con, it's not quite as customizable as the PS4 was. If you're like me, you were an owner of quite a few themes that could play in the background of your system. You could design it for the holidays, you could design it for specific games, but it's all uniform right now on the PS5. I'm sure we'll see something change in the future to make it more customizable, but for now, just with the slick UI, that's it. One other quick thing, just make sure that when you go to your video screen settings, your video 4K transfer rate isn't set to automatic if you're getting black dropouts. My TV was occasionally dropping out black while I was playing Astrobot and I was needing to do some specific platforming, and all of a sudden the TV would go dark. But in settings, I went to my 4K video transfer rate, changed it from automatic to -2. I have no idea what that means, but I haven't had the issue since, and all my games still look great. Just something to keep in mind. But that's it for now. That's my 24 hours with the PlayStation 5, and let me tell you, I am really enjoying it, and I'm sure over the next 7 or 8 years, we're gonna have some incredible experiences just like we did last gen. I can't wait. I'm excited for y'all to get your hands on it soon. Let's just get those supply orders in line, shall we? Sony, or whoever else is in charge out there.